Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chopper. So a very interesting article came out about Destiny, and basically it was an article about what really happened behind the studios at Bungie, and what happened more specifically to Destiny in within the last couple months before the game's release, and what happened to the game itself before it actually came out. So that's what we're going to go into today. Basically, I read up on this article, and everybody was right. Everybody's right that Destiny was, in fact, a very different game from its conception, but it was changed at the last minute for reasons that we didn't know, but we have some more light on the now, and that's what we're going to go into today. So Joseph Staten. Now, if you guys have heard of him before, basically he wrote the entire Destiny story, the whole universe story, and basically when they made the game, they made this thing called a supercut. And basically what this is, it was a big like a presentation, like a 2-hour presentation of what the game would look like and feel like and things like that. I'm not actually sure what the supercut looked like, and we're going to go into that in a second, why maybe it didn't go through the way they wanted to. But the supercut was just a showing of everything that's going to be in the game. It was about 2 hours long. I'm pretty sure it included cutscenes and just explanation for what the story and the things you're going to be doing in the game. It was very story driven within that supercut is what basically what they said. So the Bungie employees watched the supercut, and then they had to say something about it. They had to give their opinion, give their feedback on the supercut, and most of them said that they did not like the supercut. It showed the game in a bad light. Like, the story itself was still good. Like, Destiny itself was good, but the supercut, the way that it was shown, was not. That'd be like me showing you some plays in football, like trying to get somebody into football, but only showing them plays that like aren't cool. They're just mediocre or average. I guess the supercut did not show Destiny in the way that they were expecting or what they were intending. So they decided to scrap the entire thing. All of Joseph Staten's hard work for years and years, all that writing, backstory, and everything was just scrapped, and they had to start from scratch. But the thing is, they didn't start completely from scratch. They used most of the same characters, but changed them a little bit, changed their names, and used most of the same character models. We're going to go into that in a second. So they scrapped the entire story and the entire dialogue that Joseph Staten had spent years of his life writing, but they still had all this extra content built. Like, they had this entire game built, but no story to go behind it. Does that make sense? So what they did, it was basically described like trying to fit pieces of a puzzle together, because they had content to work with, like maps and models and things like that, but they had no story. So they built the story around the content, which is kind of backwards if you ask me. You need to develop the content for the story. So what they did was they split up all the content. Like, we were correct about this. They took the Dreadnought out of the base game. The Dreadnought was supposed to be in the base game when this came out, but they cut it out and put it into DLC because they couldn't fit it in the story the way they wanted to just yet. So they put that into DLC. And the new dialogue and story that they wrote, it was very, we know this, it was very thin and just very vague. Like, honestly, I played through Destiny, and I really didn't know what was going on. I read a little bit of backstory. I didn't spend too much time on it, but I did read some backstory, and I still had absolutely no idea what was going on. And apparently, the old reboot, like the pre-boot Destiny, was a lot more story-driven, and I guess it was a little bit more linear, because they didn't want it to be linear on this, because it's supposed to be this new revolutionary thing where it's not like a main menu where you select each mission by mission. You can go to any planet you want at any time, and they wanted to make it kind of like that, so they didn't keep it linear. So that begs the question, what did Destiny's pre-boot story used to look like before they scrapped everything? Well, apparently, before each mission, you would be introduced with a cutscene at the beginning, and these were pretty long cutscenes. They weren't just like, short little things. I would compare them to the ones from Halo. Halo could usually go up to like, I feel like 4 or 5 minutes sometimes. And that's cool with me. I want to know what I'm doing. I don't care really how long the cutscene is. If it can give me some good information. That's what was lacking in Destiny. I really had no backstory whatsoever as to what I was doing. I mean, in the Taken King, there was a pretty cool cutscene, to be fair, but it really doesn't also do a lot of explain, which I thought Halo did really well. And in terms of the actual story itself, Rasputin, and the current version of Destiny that we have, he is not a main character whatsoever. Like, he's kind of there. I don't know what we're doing with him, but in the pre-boot version of Destiny, Rasputin was a very prominent character within the story. He was actually a guy that you would more or less interact with throughout the story, and you spend a good portion of the campaign trying to rescue him. They said that the last 1/3 of the game is trying to rescue him from the Dreadnought. You spend a third of the game near the end trying to rescue Rasputin from the Hive, because the Hive have taken him and the Warmind up into their ship, if that makes sense. And to all of the hardcore Destiny fans that have been following this game even before its release, you guys will know about Osiris. Now, Osiris is kind of to be compared to like an Obi-Wan from Star Wars. That's what the article compares him to. He's like a mentor and like a guide, and we still have yet to see him in this version of the game. I don't know if we're gonna see him in DLC or whatever, but you see references to this. If you don't believe me, what is Trials of Osiris? That is referencing him, and I believe that there's some gear named after him as well. But Trials of Osiris is named after this character that we have not seen yet. And I assume he's going to be in DLC because, like I said, they have all this content to work with, but did not fit into the game because of the story. So we know that Destiny was, in fact, a very different game from the thing that we have now. And I don't know if Destiny can ever go back to being what it was intended to be in the first place. I want to go back and play the story. I really want to play the uncut story from the supercut, what they had, what Joseph Staten had planned out from the beginning. Because, guys, this is Bungie. These guys wrote the masterpiece of Halo that was my childhood. And they wrote the very powerful story of Halo 3 when I almost cried when Master Chief died. Like, that played such a huge role in like my gaming career, and I'm sure it did to you guys too. Master Chief, I had a very emotional, strong connection to Master Chief, and I mean, I like my character in Destiny. Like, I think my character is pretty cool, but I don't have the same sort of emotional connection like I had with Master Chief. Does that make sense? Like, I think a little bit of it is because my character never talks. Like, I never hear him speak or anything, so he has no really personality other than, you know, it's my character. And same thing with Cortana. Like, Cortana, I actually had some emotion attached to as well, but the Ghost, like, I realized that they changed the voice, and I actually like the new voice better. I know some people might disagree with me. They like Peter Dinklage better. I don't know. I like Nolan North better. I prefer him, but I still don't feel the same emotional connection with the Ghost. I could actually, I could play the game if my Ghost died. It wouldn't devastate me. Like, it would be different if Cortana, like, it's just different. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if we're ever gonna see the masterpiece that was to be for Destiny. That would be cool, but I don't know if it's coming back, honestly. So how dirty was this move of them? Like, Joseph Staten did get screwed out of this, and I realize that, and he's pretty upset about it, and for right reasons. And a lot of people have accused Bungie of cutting this content out strictly for profits. Now, I'm sure from this article, I'm sure it wasn't strictly for profits, but it was a bonus. It was a perk. It was a little loophole that they saw to make a little bit more money. And basically, like, they cut out the content and they said, well, you know, we can resell it. It's not a bad thing. And that's just what I kind of saw from that. So what can we expect from Destiny 2? I really don't know. Are they going to do the same thing? Are they going to take somebody's story and cut it out the last minute? I'm not sure. If Joseph Staten stays on, if he decides to come back or whatever, because he didn't stay on. He actually did leave. But if he decides to come back to Destiny and write Destiny 2, if they don't cut it out, then it should be a even better game, and it should have more content. So guys, if you did learn something from this, make sure you do leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you're new. It took me a little while to research this and put this all together, and I really appreciate if you drop a like on the video. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.